sat down with Malik yesterday, and he talked about how during his recovery process last year from his injury, you were someone that he leaned on a lot. What was that process for him like from your perspective?
Anytime you have an injury, it feels, and you're on the sideline, it feels like you're not part of that team, right? And so mentally, I had to make sure that he was in every practice, getting his mental reps, giving him positive feedback the whole time, and knowing that everybody gets hurt, how do we respond and get back? And he did very, very well doing that.
And how would you say you've seen him grow in terms of that mental preparation, also just keeping his body right? Because he talked about how that was for him.
Absolutely. Yeah, making sure he goes and gets treatments. Now he's the older back, right? I got to come in early. I got to roll out. I got to do all those things. And then from a mental standpoint, he prepares a lot more this year. Of course, when you're hurt, it's hard to prepare for something now. But he's put a lot of time in the off season, learning the playbook, knowing all the nuances. And so I think he's done an incredible job getting prepared for this season.
And he talked about how the breakout that he's had to start this season with the 100 rushing yards in back-to-back games is no surprise to him. You always saw that in him.
Absolutely, and he's dynamic. He's a dynamic guy, and we've got dynamic running backs in that room. And so whoever has that hot hand, and he has that hot hand right now. And so he's just getting better and better. And now we got to get his condition up so he can go play after play after play, and then we'll see how that goes. But he's picked up the offense very, very well.
And amongst all ball carriers in all college football on Saturday, he was the second fastest in all college football, hitting nearly 22 miles an hour. How much does his explosiveness change how you guys are able to
Anytime somebody can hit the home run and get explosives, it always helps out the offense. And that's God given. It's not developed for me. You just run, right? And he has done a good job understanding how to make people miss in space and then get going. And he's just getting better and better, like I said, every day.
And getting him to come over from USC, what was your guys' pitch to him? Because he talked about how you and Kenny made it a point that, hey, we want you to be featured in this offense.
I think that he was playing more of the slot back type, and he wanted to play that running back deal. And so we had a vision of how our backs, especially the past couple of years, they've caught for 500-600 yards out of the backfield. And so our guy had to be a multiple guy, and he fit that fit that we want.
Speaking of multiple, obviously Kanye getting more involved in the offense, and I know we've talked, and each week, he's gotten more comfortable, obviously since spring ball, but he was more comfortable with the offense. But just his performance last week, catching the ball in the backfield, what did you see from him?
Yeah, and that takes time, because everything for him was downhill. It takes time, and when we played Mississippi State, that fell right into his lap, right? And then that's the kind of ball game that he wants to play. But every day he's got to get better. Now it's pass pro. Now it's screens. Now it's understanding defenses and where do we hit and things like that. But he's coming along every day, and that room's getting better and better the whole time.
And I talked to Coach Tuitele. He said obviously the relationship they have, understanding what it was like at Army, but he says even I was asking Coach even from like his blocking and the standpoint of that, and he's like, I don't really say anything to him until he asked me. But how do you feel that their relationship has helped Kanye grow as well?
They understand where that come from, and that's tough work. And those cadets, they're disciplined. They're just tough individuals, and so anytime he comes into a place that is not that structured as the forces, I think that connection helps him because they can talk through it a little bit. But he has grown a lot within the last 6 months, and he's just going to get better and better.
And then speaking of better and better, a true freshman, man gets on the field. Obviously, he's been putting in the work. We know you told me earlier. The speed's there with this kid, like you said. Yeah. That's got give and run. But at the same time, how do you feel he's coming along? What did you see from him when he was on the field?
The lights are on now, and eyes get bigger. But I have full confidence that he can do anything that was prepared for him to do. He's just going to have to understand that the game is faster now, when the lights are on. But I have all the trust, and he's going to get better and better. And he's just a little young pup that's learning, but he'll develop into a good one.
And I got to ask you this one too. I know obviously you're on the sidelines, you're doing your job, but when Sam goes against the grain, throws a jump pass, and you see Jordan make the catch, and then the hurdle, what was the most, surprising part to you of that touchdown, or were you not surprised at all?
Not surprised at all, because they do that every day in practice. It's just like, oh crap, did he just throw that? But they do that every day in practice, and two extremely athletic individuals, right? And so they get away with a lot of that stuff. But they're a good pair.
And then going into obviously Big 12 play, starting out in Texas again, last year with Tech, obviously this year with Baylor. How do you feel the team is I mean, through obviously short little non-conference, but non-conference is ready for Big 12 play now.
And now it all counts. And I think from a mental standpoint, it was good for us to get a little bit back on the horse. I don't think we're playing like how we should be playing at this point, and Coach Dillahan understands that, and we're learning too. But I think that we're ready to play and get into conference and see how this all plays out. Awesome.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you very much.